So hello and welcome. We're here with Melanie Alexander and we're going to be chatting about her new creation, this Dirk Latchmont Play Festival, which is happening in Los Angeles. And I'm just really excited. We've heard a lot about this play and been witness to the creation of it, and it's just been a really exciting and beautiful process, even the creation of it. So I'm just really excited to chat to you, Melanie, and hear more about it and what's in store for everyone that gets to come along and watch it and be witness to it with you. So yeah, welcome and hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'm so excited to get to talk to you about it because I take for granted that you might know everything because I remember having the idea for it when we were talking and kind of telling you a little bit about it. And being so far away from each other, I realized like, oh, I'm having this whole other experience, and live theater is such that, when you're really far away, you can't really join in. So I'm excited to talk to you about it and fill you in a little more.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm based in New Zealand and obviously Melanie's in Los Angeles. So yes, it'll be really neat to hear a bit more about it. So yeah, I just want to say, congratulations as well, because it's a big thing to it's one thing to have, an inspiration and to be really excited about it. And it's another whole thing to let it come through, and to actually see it to come to life. And I've just really, yeah, been amazed as well at how it has come to life. And that, I think we'll probably talk a lot about this, but, just that creative process in allowing things to happen versus making things to happen. And I
Mhm.
know that came up quite a few times on your journey with it and how we've been used to, yeah, making something happen, thinking we need to do it all. And it's been a bit of a different process, I think, for you for this project. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny how ideas and for me, it's stories. I'm sure people feel differently about whatever projects they're bringing to life or painting or dance or whatever. But for me, it's always some kind of storytelling, acting, writing. Well, it usually starts with writing. It just has a life of its own and like a mind of its own. And I've always kind of felt that about it. And sometimes you're just sort of like fumbling in the dark, like trying to translate something, that you're kind of receiving. And then I was really clear with the process from the beginning that I wanted other people to collaborate with me to sort of devise it and create it and like bring it to life, because I wrote a bunch of scenes and monologues like just on their own, just totally separate pieces that I really just meant to be for table reading, like at home with friends and just having some wine and reading stuff and making people laugh and or feeling whatever they're feeling. And it started that way. And then I got such good feedback that I was like, oh, I had been meaning to finish writing another play that I had half written, but I might as well just put these on and like create some kind of narrative thread to join them all together, because people really enjoyed them. And that was such a fun experience. And so I was also like, okay, they're all rough drafts. I wrote them in a few weeks and just read them aloud with people. And so once we got into rehearsals, it was fun to watch someone read something and like bring it to life in a new way, where I rewrote a couple of things or added a few things. And then I knew I didn't want to direct every single piece either. So I have a couple directors helping, and I hadn't seen one of the scenes in a while. And I told my friend, yeah, you can, if you need to like make a few changes, if you want to make any major changes, like I can collaborate with you. But if you're just like changing a line here or there, or like throwing in some different jokes, that I'm totally cool with that. And she's a comedian. And so I watched the scene with the changes and I just was like, that's funny. She really added some fun stuff that I was like, oh
Mm.
yeah, that was a good joke. So it was really fun that these just got to take shape around the people who were contributing and collaborating with me.
That's really beautiful. And I really feel that like it's we talk a lot about like the flow of a river, coming through when something comes
Mm-hmm.
through and getting in the flow of it. And it feels like that when you talk about it. It's like you have this thing that's come through and it has this path through you, the flow,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's other things that come in, and people, and they add little bits to it, and it all just kind of helps it on its way and forms and shapes it as it goes, but not like from you talking, it's like not holding it so tight, like this is how I received it, so this is how it's got to be, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make it happen in this way, and it can't be anywhere else, which is one way, but it's takes some courage, to let it be its own thing and to let it come to life. Like we've talked about a bit about talking to the project, and allowing the project to be its own thing. It is its own
Mm-hmm.
thing. And we are almost the collaborator or the facilitator of it, but it gets to, if I remember a few times and feeling stuck, and that feeling of
Mm-hmm.
stuckness and not sure what to do next. But it was this really neat process of asking it what it needed next, or another one was getting to enjoy it yourself, with
Mm-hmm.
your. I remember talking about your Wine Wednesdays, and it was a fun thing, and so you really got
Mm-hmm.
to receive it first and enjoy it for what it was, and in the process of doing that, it comes to life. Like I just think that's a really beautiful way to create and allow things into the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely think of so many past projects where I had such an idea of what I wanted. And I think it's great to have a vision. And when you're sort of like energetically driving something, it's great to have that, like, just like your feet on the ground with it. Like, this is where we're going, like I'm steering the ship this way. But being too attached to an outcome can be just creates suffering. It just kind of creates a little bit of disappointment because you're not able to like ride the waves of like, oh, now it's like this, now it's like that. So it was kind of great that I never had an attachment to what it all looked like. And I still feel like I'm kind of in the dark with it because we haven't really shared it with that many people yet. We just had our dress rehearsal and we just started. It's like we've been doing all this work together, in this little kind of context. And then like we've widened it just a little bit, but then we're going to widen it some more when people come. And so I have no idea how it's going to land. Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting. I'm sort of like unsure of what the overall impression is. So that's just kind of an interesting place to be in.
The curiosity, which I think is like such
Yeah.
a key part of, the creation process, is the curiosity with it, so you're curious to see how it will land, how it feels, and
Mm-hmm.
all we talk a lot about like the energetics of something or the energy of something and creating something in that energy. So I know that all the way along the way, it's like, that tendency to kind of feel rushed with it, and there's so much and so much to organize. And it is, I was amazed when came to do your website and you were sending me through the people that have been part of the project, and I was like, wow, like you've organized all of this and all of these people have got to come and be a part of it, and it's quite a lot, it's quite a lot. And so I was just kind of in awe. I was like, wow, amazing. And it also gets to be an enjoyable and easy process, and a really fruitful process. I remember a few times you've shared about just even the people that have come to be a part of it, and welcoming them to be in that energy as well, which I think is such a beautiful contribution, to them and to everyone then who gets to see the play like that too, to have the experience of being with people who are in that that energy. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that. And I know you mentioned a few times on your rehearsals and what they look like, in terms of how you've created
Yeah.
this actual play.
Yeah, I feel like I really just wanted it to be a nurturing process oriented process, really, for myself and for everyone else involved. And right now there's a writer strike and a SAG strike in LA. So there's not much else to do. And I feel like there's, just a lot of, we need to just keep creating. Like there's that momentum of just like, I want to be creative. And I think the energy behind the strikes is sort of like valuing ourselves as creative people. Like we can do what computers cannot, that's part of the conversation. And it's so important to kind of like honor that creativity in ourselves and our communities and like share that and create those spaces for each other. And I just really wanted to get like ease back into it for myself after feeling like I hadn't been in a play for a while, and I just wanted it to feel really good and like give myself everything I needed, all the tools, all the space. And I wanted everyone else to feel like that too, where they just got to come without pressure of performance and just like play and have fun and discover what this could be. And it is a workshop. So it's still kind of like this living, breathing thing that could change. And like we've made so many changes along the way, and everybody's just like flowed with it so well. And I've surprised myself with how much I'm flowing with that too. Because I really am the kind of person who likes to have things done like 3 months ago. And I like to have like structures and organization in place. And I'm not like a last minute person at all. And so that's probably why some of this has been like a little bit overwhelming, because I'm flowing with it in a different way that I'm not practiced in, because I'm not a last minute person. But I also know that like staying awake and alive to like, oh, that actually makes more sense. On this day, we're changing it. And we changed a line here, and now we're actually doing this. And oh, we have this like new light thing. So now we have to deal with that. And like, that's just kind of how it always works anyway. Whether you plan it or not, there's always like things that come in and you just have to go with it. With film and theater, it's always like that. I think even under the best circumstances with the biggest budgets, like everybody still has to abide by the sun, and like it's either there or it's not. So that's kind of a fun process that I think keeps everything alive and fresh and fun. And yeah, I just didn't want anyone to feel this like pressure to come to rehearsal and do it a certain way, because I was still kind of discovering what all of it could be and what it should look like. And it's been really cool and a little bit like I feel a little frazzled by it too, and just the changes, the juggling and all of that. But I kind of know there's like an energy of that keeps it alive and keeps it moving and keeps it flowing. And then at the end of it, I think there's like an opportunity for me to kind of like reflect and maybe get some feedback from people I trust who come to see it and decide if I want to tweak anything. I hope the production or the play itself goes on and lives somewhere else and goes up somewhere else. I don't have any plans as of yet, but it feels like something that wants to keep moving along, and it would be really fun to take it somewhere else and share it somewhere else. And it might change even then, there's pieces that I left out of it that could go back in. There's just like changes that I could make along the way. And I'm like really open to that. And that's kind of fun to have that process where it never has to, there might come a time where it's like, okay, this is it. Yeah. But right now it's just a workshop. So it's still just in flux.
That's exciting. And exciting for people to get to come and watch it, I think, as well, that it's this living, breathing, growing thing. And it feels like it has good like stability and roots and like that good core center. Because like you say, with you don't want it to feel all over the show and a bit chaotic. It's not like that at all. Yeah. It feels like it has the solidity to it at its core. And it's also got this flexibility that around the edges, and just yeah, that's fun. And I really get that, you're talking about people coming to the rehearsals, and it it still feels like they're coming because they enjoy the process of it. They enjoy
Mhm.
it. They enjoy the rehearsals and the way that you're approaching the rehearsals, and um, yeah, how much fun they get to have, and yeah, discover for themselves
Mhm.
as well. And that kind of, I guess, goes back to its kind of roots or core, I guess, at the Wine Wednesdays, which was just like a fun gathering of great people. And yeah,
Yeah.
just feels like it's that energy is carried on through, and people still get to really enjoy it. And I get excited about the people that get to come as well, because I know that they will, the energy that's been created in, they will get to experience that too, seeing people that are really alive and enjoying themselves. It's, yeah, that'd be a neat thing to witness, I think.
Yeah, that was really the first intention with it, was like I wanted people to come and sit in the backyard. It's in my backyard, in this kind of non-traditional space, and feel like they could drink wine and like, laugh and like breathe. Sometimes when you're in a theater setting, it feels a little like, it feels a little stuffy or formal. And there's like amazing theaters, amazing plays that I've seen. And there's like an incredible energy in those spaces. But this just felt more like, oh, I could really invite people in to like just relax, and just like actually have a good time and not have to do anything, not to have to like struggle to find parking, not to, worry about like finishing their drink before curtain, and they can just sit there and sip and enjoy and be outside and have a good time. And that's kind of like where the inspiration started. I just wanted people to have a lot of fun. And I've done a play in a backyard before, and that we got such good feedback from that too. I think people like really enjoyed it. They were just like, "Oh, we had such a good time," and we had a good time putting it on. And so I really kind of like that energy of like something sort of casual and accessible and easy and community oriented. Um, and then, there's always like a time and a place for like, maybe this moves on and it goes to a theater or something like that. But it's, for now, it's just kind of like a special little like, ooh, like come hang out, just come hang out.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I think it fits perfectly with you were saying whereabouts it is at, like it's in that kind of workshoppy space. And yeah, and who knows where it'll go on to after that, but you can just enjoy it, and it will still carry the energy no matter where it goes, I'm sure. So yeah, and
Mhm.
I really yeah, I really get how exciting it is. And I also just want to ask a bit more about this. Who is Dirk Latchmont, for people that don't know?
Well, since I had written a bunch of monologues and scenes, when I was like, it actually came to me pretty quickly when I was talking to everyone about, oh, maybe I'll do this as like a full length play and just put it all together. I immediately was like, oh, I'll have like a made up playwright to, say these are all written by this fake guy named Dirk Larchmont. Because in high school, I did theater because I was a theater nerd. My friends and I were auditioning for some spring play, and maybe we were seniors and like the seniors never got cast in the spring play because we all had senioritis and weren't, like maybe it was like something like that. I think it was something very low stakes where we knew we wouldn't get cast or something. And we were like, oh, well, let's audition and write our own monologues. And then we can all go in there and say, this is from this play by this made up playwright. And I don't know who came up with that name, but the name was Dirk Larchmont. And so I just somehow remembered it and thought that would be really fun to tie all of these different pieces together as if they were like the work of one man over several decades. And then that gave me a lot of like fun exploration into like, oh, what's the context of this piece if it came from like a larger play? Like, who is this person and what is this about? And so that was kind of like a fun thing to imagine. And when I was in high school and like getting really serious about acting and really into theater, I always, there's always like more girls than guys in theater. And so like when you want to do a scene with another actor, there's like two boys in the whole class, so it's like, okay, it's better if I could just like find a scene with two girls. And at that age, I was like looking through all these contemporary plays that, someone has to be the mom and someone has to be the daughter. And, it's like I didn't really see myself in a lot of these plays. There's a lot of amazing classic roles for women, and I love Chekhov. I love Shakespeare. I love Ibsen. I love, and there's some great female playwrights also, but I kind of discovered them more in college. And even then it's like, they're just such a small part of this, like, massive amount of work of men and male centric plays and stuff like that. So I always felt kind of sad for my younger self, who really wanted to act in something that felt a little more like me, or, something I could relate to. And so this kind of felt like that a little bit too. That's like part of Dirk Larchmont's appeal, is that, he wrote all these amazing plays, all these amazing roles for women. And that's a little bit of the joke. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to have that kind of backstory, and then sort of feel like someone asked me if they could use one of my monologues for an acting class. And I was like, I just felt so honored. I was like, yeah, I would love to send you like all of them, and you can pick the one you want to do and work on. But it felt nice to have stuff that people like really were interested in engaging with. People who I respect, who are smart and talented and amazing. I have the best cast ever and the best crew ever. And it just, it took a little while. There was a little bit of like, oh, this person, oh no, that person's not available. Oh, that person's gone. Okay. Like, here's this person, like a little bit of shuffling around, kind of like unsure of what it was all going to look and feel like, what the ensemble was going to be like. And then there was like just a moment where it all clicked into place. And I was like, yes, this is it. These are the people, and they're all really great and really talented. And I feel just very honored that they think this is all worthwhile to them. So they're doing an amazing job. And the feel of the show overall, just us, because a lot of the pieces are just monologues. So people are alone on stage, but when you're backstage, you can like really support each other with like your energy, your focus, we're moving each other's props and furniture. And like, there's such a love and devotion, and the fact that everybody is there for that. That's one of the things I love so much about theater, and loved growing up doing theater, is this really team oriented mentality where it's like, nobody's the star, nobody's over here doing some, like off doing their own thing while everybody else works hard. It's like, everybody's like supporting each other. And there's such an amazing energy with that, like really being able to rely on the people you're working with in this like beautiful way. And yeah, it's such a good group.
I was really supportive and really there for the creation of it, and seeing what's next and seeing what's going to happen next, kind of thing. Yeah, that's really amazing. So amazing. And yeah, I guess so it'll be a series of monologues, and it'll be in your backyard, some wine and refreshments. Anything else about the actual thing of coming to see it? Like, who can come and see it? How do they, book or reserve a seat? And yeah, about the dates and things like that. Yeah.
It's the last 2 weekends in August. So the 18th, 19th, 20th, and then the following weekend, the 25th, 26th, and the 27th, at 8 p.m. It's definitely 18 and up, not recommended for children or too young people. And let's see what else. You can find us on Eventbrite. We have an Eventbrite page where you can reserve a seat. Our seats are kind of limited just because of the space, and we want it to feel really cozy and comfortable and nice. So we definitely recommend booking a seat in advance so you have a spot. Yeah, and I think that's what there is to know. We have more information on the website. Friday nights, we have a special pre-show with Tania Dunda, who's an amazing comedian who directed 3 pieces in the show, and added in some great jokes and is just all around talented and impressive. And she had her own comedy club during the pandemic that she opened that was like so successful. And like a lot of comedians were like, this is my first place that I've gone to since COVID. And she like cultivated this amazing community with that. And so I'm just lucky I got her during a space where she had more time. So she's awesome. She'll be doing Friday night pre-shows, and then yeah.
So fun. So fun. And the website's just dirklarchmont.com.
Yes.
Yeah. I really loved hearing about Dirk Larchmont. I really didn't know that. There was like this, it kind of reminds me of that Victorian kind of pseudonym type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the opposite. Yeah, that's really cute. There's so many different aspects to that I really, really love. Thank you for bringing this out into the world. And I really get that it's not just about the putting on of the play, of the final, not even final, but the putting on of the play. It's the whole process along the way, and all that it contributes, to people as well. So yeah, it's just awesome that you've done this, you've run with it, and yeah, it sounds like it's just gained that momentum and clarified its energy all the way along. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next, and maybe I'll get to see a video or something like that of it. I would love to see it come to life at some point as well. But yeah, just all the best with it, and yeah, a great time.
Thank you for your encouragement. You've heard it from the beginning, so it's awesome to get to share it with you and to have your amazing support and your amplification of it. And yeah, thank you for shining a spotlight on it.